believes I can't sleep.
It's time to listen to Courtney at last on the Ramblings of an Insomniac podcast.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I'm Courtney Perry. Hello, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. I am wandering around in the house again and was listening to a Theo Von podcast. Love Theo Von. Very, very long story short, they were talking about this kid that had jumped off of a cruise ship and that he was never seen again. And people were talking about how it was in shark-infested waters and it was probably a shark. I think that he, unfortunately, probably just went under the boat. He probably got sucked under the boat and then got spit out the other side, which is terrible. But it started me thinking of that is somebody's son, brother, maybe brother, I don't know if he's an only child, nephew or grandson or friend. And people have the audacity a lot of times to be like, wow, what a fucking moron to be jumping off the cruise ship. What a fucking idiot. That kid is stupid. That mom should be in jail for raising a moron. And it's like, so now suddenly the parents control what the kids do. You can only do so much as a parent. Honestly, there's only so much you can do. Yeah, if you're out drinking and you're not paying attention to your kids and you're not checking in on your kids and you're not spending time with your kids, and if you're not having family time, sitting at the dinner, talking things out, then obviously that's going to factor into a lot of things. Sometimes, though, you can do all of those things and you can still have a child that turns out to be an addict or does dumb things, because unfortunately we are human and our brains sometimes malfunction and make us do and say idiotic things that sometimes hurt ourselves and or others. And that sucks. Coming from a mom of two sons who have done stupid things, speaking for myself, who I have done stupid things. Everybody I know has said or done stupid things, and it's a wonder we're all alive. We've all done that one thing, that one moment where we're like, oh man, how the hell am I still walking around? How am I still here? How am I alive? Out of all the stupid shit I've done in my life, how am I still here? But I get so frustrated when people are so easy to blame the parents or so easy to call this person a moron. Sometimes, yeah, because when there's hormones coursing through us, when we're preteens and teens, and when we're young adults, our hormones cause us to not think very clearly. Our hormones, unfortunately, take over, hold us hostage, and make us kind of do things that are pretty damn stupid at times, for sure. And yes, there is the whole nature versus nurture. Why does it have to be or? Why is it always black or white? You are either this or you're that. Well, unless, of course, you're part of the LGBTQ PRS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 community. Then apparently there is no or, there's like a lot. But people expect you to be like, it's this way or it's that way. No, I mean, a lot of things are gray. Most things I feel are gray. Sorry, I'm sitting here in my kitchen cleaning as I'm talking to you, which is probably really fucking annoying. I don't know how any of you ever listen to me because I sit here and you can hear my dog's breathing heavily and click-clacking on the floor. You can hear my cats and you can hear my dishwasher and you can hear things echoing and me walking around and me breathing heavy because I'm going up and down. Sometimes I'll be outside and I'll be going up and down my hill. And now here I am cleaning. But I'll sit here and I'll get like something in my head and I don't want to forget it. Or I'll be in the mood to do a podcast and I know maybe I'm not later on. So then I'm like, well, I got to do that. I got to do my podcast. And I don't even think about it. I just walk around with this phone talking into it without thinking. I'll start like I am right now, putting away dishes and rinsing dishes. I love washing dishes, by the way. I don't need a dishwasher. It reminds me of my grandma. It's very nostalgic for me. We used to wash dishes together, and I loved it. I still like it. I still like washing dishes. But it's crazy that people forget that we do stupid things. And it also bothers me when people are like, oh, look at that addict. Look at that crackhead. Look at that loser. I'm sorry. There are a lot of people that used to be entrepreneurs, used to own their own business, used to be very successful, made a lot of money, had a good family, was a great husband or wife, was a great parent, had a great job, was a good person, incredibly intelligent. There are a lot of people that fit into those categories that unfortunately become addicts. Unfortunately, there are some homeless people on the streets that are addicted to drugs that used to be someone's mom, dad, father, son, sister, uncle, brother, niece, nephew, whatever, friend, partner, that was at one time maybe a very hard worker, a very good person. They still are good people, I'm sure. They just have addiction has a hold of them. Addiction has a hold of their life right now. And I'm sure they want nothing more than to not feel the pain anymore. That's why they take drugs. They don't want to feel the pain. And it's sad because unfortunately, that's what's continuing to cause pain. It, of course, numbs you from the outside, but not your insides, So we need more counselors. And then we need more access to counselors. We should not have veterans on the streets, that's for sure. We shouldn't have illegal immigrants taking over areas and places that our veterans should be, that our American citizens should be. We need more rehab facilities. We need more counselors. We need actual licensed counselors, licensed psychiatrists, and we need licensed, good doctors, as in medical doctors. And it's sad that I talked about this on one of my podcasts, prioritizing, how we prioritize things. We don't prioritize mental health. We don't prioritize veterans. We don't prioritize people that work hard. We want to keep people addicted to drugs. We want to keep people uneducated and their heads in the sand. We want to keep people fighting. We want to keep people poor because that's how you manipulate. America got us addicted to drugs by getting us addicted to opiates. And then all of a sudden, they expected people to just quit cold turkey. That's what pissed me off. Like, they were like, oh, shit. We were passing out opiates like it was Halloween candy, just passing it out like Oprah. You get opiates. You get an opiate. You get a painkiller. You get a painkiller. Everybody gets a painkiller. And then when everybody got addicted and they realized what a problem it became, then all of a sudden they were like, oh shit, now we can't give out any. No soup for you. No soup for you. No Vicodin for you. And for people like my mom, who have never been addicted, never had a problem, and actually needed it because she had double hip surgery and was in her 70s and again, never had a problem, they wouldn't give it to her. Gwen, do you mind? I'm trying to do a podcast and you're kind of podcast bombing. You know what I'm saying? Are you trying to make oh, thank you. Good quiet. Good quiet, good girl. You're trying to make your appearance? Oh, okay. Everybody, this is Gwendolyn. All right, Gwenny, have you said what you had to say? Oh, all right. Okay, for real though, quiet. Sorry, guys. One moment. Sorry. So, but passing out opiates and then all of a sudden, no, nobody can have one opiate ever again, not even the 70-something-year-old lady who's never had an issue and is genuinely in pain. And they gave her pain medication enough for 2 days. And listen, I get it. I don't think that you should pass out pain medication. I get that it only masks the pain. I get that you need to do physical therapy and stuff. I get it. But they shouldn't have just cold turkey, just quit. Just been like, nope, no more, quit. And now there's this huge opiate problem. And we have all these people homeless. And we have people that are veterans with PTSD that are on the streets and also addicted. And then we're trying to get everybody to take freaking vaccinations. We just want to inject people with shit. We always are doing experiments, Agent Orange and stuff. And it's like, sorry, I'm trying to make myself a cold coffee. And then I'm like, I can't sleep at night. Anyway, we're always trying to infect people with shit and do experiments on people. It's like we're lab rats. The lab rats are like, now you know how we feel. Fuck you guys. But it's annoying. It's ridiculous. Why? Why are we constantly fucking with things? Sometimes you should just leave shit alone. Sometimes things should they're good the way they are, man. You don't need to fuck with it. But the whole addict thing, it bothers me because my family I come from a long line of addicts, and the addicts in my family are not bad people, and they are all incredibly intelligent, hardworking people, even when they drink all the time, still maintained a job, still kind to people, and paid their taxes and paid their bills. So just because you're an addict doesn't mean you're scum of the earth, doesn't mean you're stupid, doesn't mean you're a bad person. You could be the most powerful person in the world. I mean, look, there's a lot of powerful people out there that are addicts. Don't have to be poor. But it's sad because I get sick and tired of people talking to someone else, about someone else. Someone else's child, someone else's mother, brother, son, uncle, aunt, whatever. And they're like, look at that moron. Look at that idiot out on the street. Look at that addict, that homeless addict, loser. Fuck you. Those are humans. Those are people. They didn't want to be that way. Sure, maybe they made the choice to say, hey, I'm going to try heroin. Hey, I'm going to try Oxycontin. Or maybe, just maybe, I don't know, they had back surgery or something, and their back hurt really bad after their surgery, and they got addicted. It started out harmless and then became an issue. Or maybe they tried something and didn't think they were going to like it, and unfortunately got addicted right away, tried really hard to quit, and are just having a hard time sticking with it. Maybe they don't have support. Maybe they don't have someone to keep them, straight, to lean on when things get hard. So then it's even harder to quit when you have nobody. It's not that these people are losers. I mean, some people, yeah, I'm sure some are. Some very well may be bad, shitty people. Some people that are addicts, of course. I mean, it's not maybe. Odds are, statistically, there are going to be shitty, crappy people out there that are losers, that are addicts, of course. But to sit there and make comments that people do about someone else's family member being an addict as if it's just horrible. It's a disease. That's a fact. That's not my opinion. It's a disease. How dare you? Are you going to knock on someone with cancer? And be like, fucking idiot with cancer. Fucking idiot cancer patient going through chemo, looking like a loser, looking like shit because they're on chemo and radiation, losing their hair, fucking ugly loser, piece of shit. No, people don't talk like that. You don't talk about people with a disease, fucking MS, fucking in a wheelchair, fucking can't walk, fucking quadriplegic, fucking loser. No. You don't get to do that when something is a disease or isn't someone's fault. Again, I'm not saying that necessarily it's not your fault because you chose to take a drink or whatever. But I don't think people go, oh, I'm going to take this drink or I'm going to shoot up this heroin, and then for the rest of my life, this is what I'm going to do. That's just my plan. My plan is just to be an addict. That's what I see for my future. It's my goal. Most people aren't that way. And yet we act like that is what people's goal in life is, to just be an addict. No, I doubt very seriously most of the people, the majority of the people that are homeless and that are addicts, don't want to be. Right now, they're going to go, I want heroin. I want cocaine. I want alcohol. Of course, they're going to say that. But then if they could say, look, we could sober you up right now, get you a job, get you a home, get you a meal, and it's going to suck. It's going to suck for a long time. It's going to be really hard, but we're here for you. We support you. We're going to do it. We're going to stick by you. We're going to give you a place to live. We're going to clean you up and all that. I bet you a lot of people would really appreciate that. And again, it doesn't mean they're going to do it, because again, addiction starts to just take over your brain, and that's, poor judgment. You have poor judgment. So maybe you're not going to take people up on it because maybe you're too far gone and your judgment's too skewed. But people don't want to be addicts. I don't think most people grow up going, I'm going to be an addict when I grow up. No. I don't see how people can be so so heartless and say those things about somebody else's family that's clearly struggling with a disease. Because like I said, you're not going to say that. At least I would hope. I'd hope to God you wouldn't be like fucking cancer patient loser, losing their hair like a loser. I would hope people aren't going to say that. I would assume majority aren't. I don't know. But the kid that jumped off the cruise ship, I just heard about this today after listening to one of Thea Vaughn's podcasts. And it doesn't matter. I don't know what the kid was thinking. I didn't hear the whole thing, but it's that this kid's parents have a video now of their kid's last moments out there for people to comment on. How would you like it if your grandparent died or your child died and everybody got to comment on it in whatever shitty way they felt like? And it's out there on the internet for people to watch. It's out there circulating. You could one day be looking through YouTube and somehow come upon the video of your child jumping off of a cruise ship to their death. That's a lot. That's pretty fucking traumatizing. And yet people just talk about this kid like they're not a human. It's just bizarre behavior. Humans are very weird. Oh my God, sorry, that was really loud, but I had to take a drink. Not of alcohol. Again, cold brew. I don't know, man. The world is a messed up place right now. It's very Alice in Wonderland, and I thank God for the good people out there. I try to really focus on the celebrities that I do like, the celebrities that I feel are humble and putting their money where their mouth is, taking action, and to the people out there in general of the world that are kind and just kind, good people. Trying to focus on that. I'm certainly surrounded by a lot of them. I'm very, very fortunate to have a lot of amazing friends. I have a lot of friends. The only family I have left are my sons and my grandkids. And, but that's a lot. Having my children and having grandkids is amazing. Of course I have my partner, but I'm talking about biologically related. I'm talking biological family. The only biological family I have left are my grandkids and I should say a grandson, because the other two aren't biologically related to me either. I call them my grandkids, but biologically they aren't related to me. So I have a grandson. I have 3 boys, 2 sons and a grandkid. So, but I have a lot of family. I mean, I'll have a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends, and they are amazing. I wouldn't trade them for the world, and they have my back. So that's important. And when you are an addict, you need to have somebody. And if you don't have support, it's hard enough with support. It's hard enough with encouragement. It's hard enough with a place to stay, a roof over your head, and food. It's hard enough with transportation to get to and from, a job. But when you don't have any of those things, what the hell, What are you supposed to do? Okay, you know what I just did? I just paused the podcast so that I could clean the dishes in the sink because it was bothering me that much. I kept walking by because I pace. I pace when I do my podcast. I walk around a lot. That's why you guys can usually hear me walking or hear me out of breath because I'm out of shape. But I kept walking past my sink and seeing dishes in it, and it was making me freaking insane. And then I realized that there was mud on the side of my sink because, again, I live out in the country and I have a lot of clay, and it's been kind of wet, and I took the dogs out to exercise them, and apparently I didn't dry them off well enough, and, well, now there's mud. Love the mud, though. Mud is great. Dirt is great. There's many songs, many country songs about dirt and how great it is, and I agree. Anyway, addiction, though, and us judging others by someone else's faults is just, it's got to stop. I mean, it's normal for us to judge. I get it. We're humans. We're going to judge. And like, again, I said on another podcast, just because someone's judging doesn't mean they're judging you poorly. Doesn't mean it's bad. They could be saying, hey, that person is amazing. Hey, that person's sweet. Hey, that person's smart. Hey, that person's beautiful. Whatever. It's technically judging, right? And we definitely need to, though, even though it's natural for us to just kind of pass judgment. I hate when people are like, I don't judge. Yes, we do. We all do it. We all judge. Maybe we don't judge harshly. Maybe we're not an asshole when we're judging. Maybe we really are saying kind things. But we still size people up. I mean, it's just what we do. We're humans. So that's okay. Embrace it. Admit it. Embrace it. It's fine. But the whole holier than thou, oh, my child would never do that. You know what? Your kid's probably the one doing it the most. Your kid's probably the ringleader. Your kid is probably the freaking ringleader of the circus, and you think that they're innocent. Have you noticed it's always like the counselors or the cops' kids or the preacher's kids that are the worst? Swear. But again, you could have the parents that do everything right, quote, quote. I don't know what everything right. I don't know what right would be because everybody has a different definition of right. So if everybody's definition of right is different, that means, I guess, we're all screwing up because we can't all be right if we all have different definitions of right? Did you follow that? I mean, but even if we did like the textbook handbook that's like, this is how thou shalt raise a child, and we had the handbook, then even if your kid turns out to make some mistakes, does that mean you're a bad parent, or does that mean that the kid is human? Or that sometimes we're just dumbasses, Again, there are bad parents out there, certainly. And again, some people could have horrible parents and turn out to be the best kid in the world. But again, what is someone's definition of the best kid? What makes someone a good kid? My definition of a good kid, your definition of a good kid could be completely different. Hey, you two, stop. Lord have mercy. So, I mean, it's all, we all have different definitions of things. We all have different ways of raising our kids. And unless we are hurting our children or our children are hurting others, we should probably just leave people to it. I mean, if your kid affects me or my kid or affects the world, then I guess it's, becomes my problem, and vice versa. But until then, I mean, we can totally look at someone else and see their kid and go, wow, that kid's a douche on them, But I don't know that it's appropriate necessarily to tell somebody else how to parent. I feel like unless someone asks, your opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's about 100 times I've wanted to say something to people in a grocery store or a restaurant or whatever when their kid is being. I had a kid in the groom shop a while back that was so extraordinarily out of line and such a little demon spawn. It was insane. Now, because it affected my shop and the dogs, I did say something because he doesn't get to come to the back where it says employees only after he's been told not to. He doesn't get to touch other people's dogs after he's been told not to because he could get hurt or a dog could get hurt. So again, it becomes my problem because now he can get hurt or the dogs can get hurt. And so now it is my problem and he is in my space. So therefore it is my right to say something. Again, when you're in a restaurant and say there's a kid behind you kicking your seat, I feel like you should be able to say something because they're kicking your seat. It's affecting you. But until then, I feel like we kind of all just need to, unless people say, hey, can you help me with this? What's your opinion? How would you handle this? It is very hard, by the way, as a mom, to not open my mouth and say something if I disagree with how my son or his girlfriend parent. It's hard because you want to say stuff. And sometimes I have, and I knew that I was out of line and I knew that I shouldn't have said anything because I know if the situation reversed, I'd be annoyed. I'd be annoyed if someone's mom or if my mom were telling me how to parent. I'd be like, it's my kid, stay out of it. But it's really hard. It's very hard not to say something. Not to say that they're doing a bad job. They're not doing a bad job at all. I'm just saying there's times I would have handled things differently. Doesn't mean, though, that I would have handled it correctly either. Maybe the way I would have handled it, maybe the fact that I would have handled it differently doesn't mean that I would have been correct. And it doesn't mean they're wrong, and it doesn't mean they're bad parents because they aren't. But it's hard to shut your face when you are a parent. And again, you have adults, you have sons that are adults and you are no longer allowed to dictate their life anymore. And you kind of just want to be like a robot and have a remote control and tell them where to go. And you can't. And it's annoying because you don't want them to hurt themselves and be stupid. You don't want them to be the kid that's doing this stupid stuff like eating Tide Pods. I mean, my God. And again, people are like, oh, those parents of those kids are fucking idiots. And now their kids are fucking idiots. And where are their parents at? Even if my parents were home, I could still be eating Tide Pods. And again, it doesn't mean that parents are bad. When you get to a certain age, you just do shit regardless of what your parents say sometimes. It makes the kid an idiot. That's kind of stupid. That is very stupid. But I feel bad saying that about someone else's child because I'd be annoyed if someone said that about my kid. But at the same time, I'd be like, well, if he ate a Tide Pod, he'd be a fucking moron. He would be a moron. That's dumb. I don't get those challenges, by the way. Why would you have challenges in which you could put yourself in the hospital or kill yourself? Remember when COVID first came out and there was that whole licking the toilet seat thing? I wouldn't lick a toilet seat no matter what is going on in the world. Not the cleanest toilet seat in the world. Why would you lick a toilet seat no matter what the circumstances were? Yep, that was a thing. And I don't get the whole dumping water on me for the autism challenge. What does that do for autism? What does that have to do with autism, and how does that raise money? How does that bring awareness? How does dumping ice on you raise awareness for anything? It's odd to me. I don't get those things, those challenges. And who makes them, and then who sees it and goes, yeah, let's go viral with eating Tide Pods. Let's make that challenge a challenge and make it viral. And let's make dumping water on ourselves go viral. Like, who thinks of these things? Who's the first one that does it, and then someone else sees it and they're like, yeah, I'm going to do that. That's what we should all do. That's a good idea. I don't know. It's weird. It's crazy. But anyway, people need to kind of back off on the whole homeless people are losers, addicts are losers, parents are bad parents when kids get in trouble, and where are their parents, and their parents are fuckers and should be in jail, and all that stuff. And probably should back off calling the kid that just died a name, because you have no idea what that kid, maybe he just genuinely was like, it would be fun. I'm going to jump off into the water of this cruise ship. It just sounds fun. Now, yes, logically that seems stupid. But when you're young, maybe he was drinking, maybe he just was in the moment and he just thought in the moment it'd be fun. It was just that quick, stupid decision that we've all made, rash, dumb decisions. And he made it. Doesn't mean he's stupid, doesn't mean he's a bad kid. Why are we doing that? Why are we saying these things? And yet, when people honestly do something bad, we don't hold them accountable. And we get pissed when someone says something about it. God forbid when George Floyd got called out for doing fentanyl and all of his past crimes and got called out for not being an upstanding pillar of society, and he actually did commit crimes and he was not a great human, people stick up for these kind of people. That's what's happening nowadays. People are sticking up for actual pedophiles. They are condoning having a flag for pedophiles. They are condoning chopping off body parts, mutilating body parts, taking medication that can severely mess you up and alter your life in not a good way. And we're promoting these harmful things. And that's not bad. And if God forbid you say it is, you're somehow a fucked up idiot. If you don't want to mutilate children, if you don't want to sleep with children, if you don't want children to be sex trafficked, if you don't want illegal immigrants that could be terrorists, that could be starting a war in this country, that could be bringing in, that are, not could be, are terrorists, are sex traffickers, are bringing in drugs to this country, do want to take over, they do want to kill us. They are taking over our schools. They are taking over our homeless, and vets should be able to have access to help, to get help, to have shelters, to have counseling. And yet illegal immigrants that actually are bad are coming in and people are defending them. And people are pissed when someone else doesn't think these are peachy keen pillars of society. That's where I'm confused. We're calling addicts and homeless people and homeless vets bad and morons and idiots and losers and making fun of them. But terrorists are okay. Pedophiles are okay. Drug dealers are okay. I mean, what the hell kind of universe have I stepped into? Puck, leave it. Where did I get into another dimension? Did I step into another dimension, some alternate universe? I'm just confused. I don't know. It's just it's an interesting world we're in right now. And so I try to listen to podcasts and songs that make me happy. I have to watch shows that aren't intense. Like I love documentaries so much. Love documentaries on anything. I mean, anything. I love that show, How It's Made. I love things like when they talk about mega yachts or mega boats or mega hotels, and like they talk about the workings and how it works and what makes the largest airports work. Love that shit. Love just documentaries about everything and anything. But I have to watch it because I have to watch myself, because I also like watching really mindless, stupid reality shows or really mindless, stupid TV. I also love really smart, intelligent TV like West Wing. Love it. And I love a lot of shows that require using your brain and stuff, but most of the time, because of the world being so crazy, I just need a break. I need a break from the intensity of it all. I need a break from the depressing, intense feeling that just this dark, thick heaviness that's going on. So I want to watch just, some Bachelor and Bachelorette or some Jersey Shore or some old Project Runways or, I don't know, some Hell's Kitchen, some Chopped, or just some silly reality shows that you just can escape all the crap. We just all need to escape the crap and remember to take care of ourselves, because think that's what's missing. If we all just take the time to just take some breaths, to breathe, to stretch, to get away from the intense feelings, to just laugh. But how can you laugh when you're out on the streets? How can you laugh when you're suffering? That makes it hard. How can you laugh when you have no support or no one to make you laugh? We certainly shouldn't be making fun of these people. We should figure out a way to help. And now the Biden administration has made helping like trying to put a fucking Band-Aid on a cannon hole. It doesn't work. That wasn't a very good analogy, but you know what I'm trying to say. I'm tired. The problem is so huge now that I don't know how it's fixable. And I'm scared. I'm just scared for our world. And if Michelle Obama becomes president, damn. Ooh. So I'm probably going to play some games on my, I do this designing game a lot. I do some Sudoku. I do a lot of Boggle and Words with Friends, and I do a lot of tile games and crap like that. And I just need to zone out, watch some Psych, love Psych. I don't know. Some Psych, some Rules of Engagement, Man with a Plan, some Big Bang Theory, some Scrubs, some just really need to laugh. Some Always Sunny, that kind of stuff, Sometimes Always Sunny is even too intense, which is just silly, but it's just kind of political, which I love. But, Anyway, thank you for listening. If you're struggling, I know that it's hard. And again, it's hard if you don't have support. So I'm so sorry if you're struggling. I hope that you have someone that you can talk to. Just know that it is hard. It is hard to quit. It's hard to quit any addiction, no matter what that addiction is. But as they always say, the first step is admitting it. It's not going to be easy at first, but I'm so proud of anybody that makes that choice. My hat's off to anybody out there that has been struggling and has made the choice to quit and is doing the best they can. I mean, that is a hard thing to do. And the fact that you made that choice is an amazing, amazing life-altering step. So good for you. Keep with it. And hey, maybe listening to my podcast would help. I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Until next time.